Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I'm doing an updated King Croaker guide with my best current teams. This is more focused at free-to-plays as you progress through the game. Now, my earlier video guide on King Croaker was focusing around the early game, working through the early difficulties of it. Now we're looking at endless mode and trying to maximize your damage potential. Now, as always with this stuff, there are a lot of variables, so there is no one best team. Like at the moment, I found what my best team is, but yours might be different depending on ascensions, investment, also levels. I've got 2 level 200s and everyone else is level 190, so it will vary. But what I'm trying to do is show you guys my thought process and options you have to be able to try and maximize your own damage. But once again, until you get to like full end game and you've got every character maxed, there is not going to be like one set meta team because there is too many variables. But hopefully this can help you guys and make some adjustments to help you guys increase your score in King Croaker, whether it be in endless mode or still working through the different difficulties. So let's get into it. And also, before we go any further, I just wanted to go through, if you are a whale, you are at that end game, you got a bunch of heavy invested units. We've got Analytica, we've also got Pridewin, and then we've also got Analytica with Vatra, who this is Vatra's website, with all their different guides. His one has the, where is it, Dream Realm, yeah, Guide to the Dream Realm. So his has all of this stuff here as well. So you can come look at all these guides as well for that sort of resource. But like I said, I am free to play and I am focusing more on that free to play experience, trying to maximize it as we progress and we get different units. So if we jump in here and take a look at my team, I've reached the stage now where I do have my Mythic plus Marilee, and that is making a big difference for me. And this formation right here is currently my best formation. But as you can see, I do have Thorin at Mythic plus. Now I also have my Supreme Smokey. If you don't have Smokey highly ascended, it doesn't really change it. It's just going to essentially reduce your damage dealing capacity because he won't have that extra damage. Also, it might slow down your healing, which might make Coco more important. Now, because I do have my Thorin at Mythic plus, he gets an extra revive essentially by relying on that ally unit to sacrifice their health to bring him back the extra time. And this is a fantastic cheese. However, if you do not have Thorin yet, what you can do is you can do a positioning like this, where then you can test dropping Coco or maybe dropping one of your damage dealers. I know not everyone has Marilee. If I didn't have Marilee right now, I would just be using Cecilia. That is the simple difference. Marilee offers you a higher damage ceiling, Cecilia doesn't. You can also do cheese in the current team I'm doing with Marilee, which I will show you guys, because eventually every free-to-play player will get Marilee to Mythic plus. If you've been following the general gist of have her on your wish list, eventually you will get there. Most people are going Odie first, which I did, and then I went Marilee second, and now that I have her, she is really increasing my damage potential. But like I said, if you didn't have the Mythic plus Thorin, so you couldn't link him to an ally, this is the kind of formation I would be using. Now, you can do it like this, or you can do it like this. In my testing, I found that this formation actually worked better for me, and what I'm doing here is I am not linking my Thorin to anyone, just to basically play it as though my Thorin was a non-Mythic plus, so I don't get that extra revive. And so what I do with this formation is, because my Kruger is low ascension, if you have a high ascension Kruger, this could change, but because he is such low ascension, if I put him in the front, he will die instantly. But I also still want him to be the first one to get the bubble. And if he's on the left position in the same row as Thorin, then he will be the first one to get bubbled. But the basic attacks will hit my Smokey. So I'm going to run this one and show you guys what this does. Because otherwise, with my low ascension Kruger, if I had Thorin in the front position, Thorin would be getting the first bubble, and then Kruger would be dying to the AoE swipe from the boss. So as you can see with this one here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that Kruger ult. Kruger is now done his job. That's all we needed him to do, was get that first ult, because now he has put the maximum death shred that we can get on the boss, which does help our damage a bit. You can also try using another melee unit like Shakir if you have him highly invested. That might get you more throughput because we do have a bunch of true damage on this team. But like I said, that way there we do get the first, we get the max death shred from the Kruger, and the first bubble goes on him, which is what we wanted, because otherwise he was going to die to the boss's swipe attack and we would have lost an extra target for the bubble. Whereas this way now, you can see that we've got Thorin in there. He took the second bubble, and now he's also going to take the third bubble right here, and now he is completely gone. So now that we're in this stage, now we're at the suffering stage where the boss is just going to attack Smokey, and Smokey is going to get clapped. But we still managed to put a good, decent amount of throughput damage in. As you can see, my Smokey is still surviving here, still surviving, putting it through. And as you can see, we're actually getting really close to what my max damage actually is, and we fell just short of my max damage. So this team is very similar to the other team I was using. But once again, this strategy here, you can see my max damage is 19.7. I think that one was 19.3. So that strategy that we were using is utilizing the fact that you can sacrifice your Croaker and let him die so that he eats a bubble. Now that team there, we probably would have done a little bit better if we had merrily linked to our Thorin, which I could probably test, and this may be a new best, but once again, when you test these things, there's a bit of RNG involved and everything like that. But as you can see, so what we did there, he took the first bubble, he took the second bubble, he took the third bubble, and then we were just at the mercy of the boss doing whatever he wanted and hoping his basic attacks didn't kill our Smokey. But that is a very strong formation that you can use in this. Once again, if you don't have the merrily built, you can put a Cecilia in there. Now, the other things you can do to adjust with this, once again, I've got 2 characters at level 200, so my priority on increasing levels went to my 2 damage dealers. And it's whichever damage dealer does the most damage is the one you want, or whichever one is dying, you can change it based on that. Hell, sometimes if your Smokey's dying too quick when he gets the basic attacks, you can also boost your Smokey's level. But that's the kind of things we're looking at. Now, once again, I mentioned that this is showing to be like my best team, and it is very close with my Croaker team. Actually, what we'll do is we'll actually try this. So for those that do have a Mythic Plus Thorin, with Merrily, it's a bit awkward because her jumping around can change things. But once again, I think everyone will eventually have that Merrily at Mythic Plus. My account started about 8 days after global launch, so I think some of you may already be there with her, depending on how the RNG of your summons has gone. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to chuck the Croaker back into this one, and we're going to taste that formation with the link, see if I can actually max my damage. But then I want to show you the other formation, which is running Coco, which Coco is just a little bit safer. However, I do like the Croaker. Definitely, like, if you don't have the Mythic Plus Thorin, then the Croaker becomes way more clutch. And if you're running Cecilia, then I think the Croaker becomes more valuable as long as you can still survive. So let's jump into this one. Let's see if we can max out some damage, and then I'll go ahead and I'll show you the other team that we are looking at. But once again, over here, the things that people may not have is the Mythic Plus Smokey, which is going to impact your damage because you won't get it, but you'll still just use Smokey at whatever rarity you have because he is so valuable. If he is struggling for healing, then maybe you can try making him the boosted level character, and that might have some effect. The other one is that Thorin, but like I said, I just showed that team where we basically removed the effect of Thorin's Mythic Plus of his exclusive equipment, and we can still do reasonably well without that. But what this team is going to do is it's going to allow us to get maximum benefit from Thorin because we're going to get that extra revive, because when he dies, Merrily will take her, like, lose her own health to revive him again. However, this could put us in the pickle where Merrily may die, so we're going to have to wait and see how this one pans out. So we're going to get the bubble here. So Merrily's going to sacrifice HP to bring him back. There you go. Merrily's still alive. The bubble, and there you go. This is the RNG with Merrily. So that time she decided to jump straight into the bubble, and the boss was still actually attacking my Smokey because that was his new basic attack target. Now, sometimes the boss will target Merrily and you get different RNG, but as you can see, this should have been a better formation, but due to RNG of Merrily just jumping and getting killed early, we actually lost out on damage. So once again, there are those RNG factors, and testing these teams multiple times is definitely a good way to see if you can max out your damage. So once again, I want to show you guys this team that I've been using as well. And the function behind it. So this is my other team that I've been finding really good results with. So once again, this one is actually quite a cheesy system. This one takes use of Merrily's jumping around to really manipulate the battle, because what we can do is when he bubbles Thorin to death, if Merrily has jumped to the front position, she will become the boss's default auto attack target, which is actually a really fantastic thing, because then she's getting damage mitigation protection from Thorin, and also we have the damage mitigation from our Coco depending on timing. Now, sometimes she does wipe, but sometimes she can survive to the end of the battle, and that is when we get our maximum damage. So let's jump into this one and let's take a look. But once again, I want Merrily linked to Thorin in this position if you do have the Mythic Plus Thorin and you're testing this, because I want her to jump to the foremost position when Thorin dies. So if we go right here, and if the boss uses the bubble straight after this... Okay, so did Thorin die early enough? I'm not too sure. We're hoping that Merrily is the new basic attack target. Okay, unfortunately in this one, Coco is the new basic attack target, and that normally ends worse. But like I said, sometimes with RNG, with the jumping around of Merrily, she can become the basic attack target, and that actually works incredibly well in those situations. So let's see how this RNG ends up panning out. So we're doing not too bad here. We're at 12 million, 13 million with 38 seconds. Let's see how we go. So the next bubble is going to actually kill our Thorin. He's going to die. And there you go. See, Coco gets dropped there. So that is not what we wanted. So Coco down is a bad thing. We've got 26 seconds left, but we've lost our tank. The basic attacks are going into that Merrily now. But unfortunately, if we had the Coco still alive, we'd be in a much better position. There you go. We get the damage. We get dropped. We got 9 seconds left. And once again, you can see with 6 seconds left, we ended up at 17 million, with our best being close to 20 million. So RNG is a big factor in these things. But once again, with all these teams I've showed you, once again, if you don't have the Mythic Plus Thorin, the big thing is putting the Kruger in there to go ahead and... Wait, the big thing is doing something like this to go ahead and do that, and then that way Kruger takes the first bomb. I don't think... I tested this and it was horrible damage for me, something like this, just because... I have the damage dealing capacity, but maybe you could test something like this if you're really struggling for survival. But once again, that's a bit iffy, but this one is definitely seeming like a fantastic option. And once again, if you don't have the Mythic Plus Thorin, you can definitely do something like this. Let Kruger eat the first bomb, then he can eat the second two, and then you're just in the free range, hoping you can deal as much damage as possible. Once again, if you don't have her, you just put Cecilia in there, which is most people's main carry until that point, and it should work perfectly well. But once again, you do need her at Mythic Plus to get her into this squad. So let's go back. Let's try one more time on that other team that I was using, and let's see if we can get a max score and see if we can get Coco to not be the auto attack target. Now, the other thing is, the reason I have Smokey over here and these guys over here is so that the bomb can't hit both of these at the same time. So I really want Smokey. If I put Smokey forward, once the Coco runs forward, they're at threat of getting hit together. Whereas over like this, they normally put the bomb over here, and it just depends on where Merrily goes. But the bomb targeting of the boss is just very iffy, so you just got to play around with positioning for that. So let's try this one more time, see if we can get our max damage and show you guys how Merrily can be absolutely clutch with the cheesy factor. And once again, if you don't have Merrily built yet, just use the Cecilia, but I think Merrily is one that a lot of people will eventually get built, and I know a lot of people do have Thorin on their wish list, so hopefully once you do get in Mythic Plus, you do have access to more of these things. But I understand that that is RNG and not everyone has it, but once again, I can't just say this is the best team for everyone in the game, no matter where you're at, and that is the way it works. It just doesn't work like that, so unfortunately we can't do that style of thing. So who is the boss auto attacking? Is it Merrily now? Please be Merrily. Who's getting the auto attacks? Okay, he's attacking Merrily, so this is good. This is good. Oh, come on, Coco. Oh, yes, clutch. Okay, so we survived that. Okay. So now Thorin's down. Merrily is our basic attack target. So now we just really need to keep Merrily alive. As you can see, that damage soaking in. We're about to get the Coco. Get the Coco. Yes. Live. Okay, so this is looking good. She jumps away from the bomb. Once again, that RNG of Merrily can be super clutch. So she's about to take the delayed damage right there. Okay, we're going to get the Coco up. 2 seconds left, and... that is okay. New best damage. Like I said, 20. We finally got into that 20 mil range, but that is the beauty of Merrily with the Thorin link on this boss. It can be super clutch because she can be in the back row, and after Thorin dies, she can take that aggro. And as you can see, she shits on the damage. But she can take that aggro, which is huge, to be able to take those basic attacks, but then have the damage mitigation from Thorin and survive thanks to Coco. Now, you're not going to get this kind of result without the Coco, because the Coco is clutch for that extra survival, as opposed to the Kruger. So that's like the awkward situation with this one, and that's why I said Coco's been the best for me. But like you saw at the start, the Kruger is very close to it as well. But that's a basic look at it. Once again, let me know if you have any questions. I do try and make these as free-to-play friendly as possible. Like I said, I've given you guys some options if you don't have the ascensions, but at the end of the day, if you are lacking character ascensions and stuff like that, your damage just isn't going to be as high, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But hopefully, that can help you guys out. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.